Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity is by far the most surprising announcement of 2020, notwithstanding the fact that it is both a prequel to the most successful Legend of Zelda game to date, and a spiritual follow-up to Hyrule Warriors that also released on the Switch just 2 years prior. The question is, how does it stand in filling such large expectations? And is it an important piece for every Zelda fan to play? Let's dive in and find out. Anyone who has played Breath of the Wild will be immediately familiar with the world and characters on display here. From the main cast of Link and Zelda to even the basic moblin, each character is ripped straight from Breath of the Wild and retains the iconic art style. It made seeing the characters and world all the more exciting and really pulled me in. The voice acting and cutscenes, however, gave me a bit of pause. In every Zelda game, Link is silent, and that continues here for both good and bad. The rest of the cast does admirably with their lines when given a chance to speak. However, in the midst of battle, character chatter is handled by text boxes in the lower left corner, which I did not like in the original Hyrule Warriors, nor do I here. It makes knowing the specifics of an objective a bit harder, though this is alleviated by them being easier to deal with and fewer in number from the original Hyrule Warriors. Why the odd choice of just grunts in battle and full voice acting and almost everything else just baffles me. From a gameplay perspective, Age of Calamity is the hack and slash goodness of other Warriors games rolled up into a unique Breath of the Wild format. Aside from the typical light, heavy, and special moves, each character has access to the Sheikah Slate, runes of Bomb, Cryonis, Stasis, and Magnesis. This might not sound that unique at first, but it adds an extra layer of strategy to each fight. For example, if there's an explosive barrel near a large group of enemies, you can use Stasis on it and attack it to send it flying at the group. Or you can use Cryonis to generate a pillar of ice to stun a charging moblin and then counterattack. On top of these, you gain access to 3 different magic rods in the form of fire, ice, and electric. Using these becomes important when encountering the new elemental-based enemies in the game. Though they are wisely metered so you cannot spam them, they also can be hard to refill if you do not encounter the specific elemental enemy in your current mission. This frustration does not occur often, at least. One that does is finding food to fill the healing gauge, which is also new to Age of Calamity. Gone are the restorative hearts dropped by enemies, and in its place is the need to gather food to eat to restore health. This I found a little irritating in the early game, as I was learning the systems and getting overwhelmed a bit by the hordes. As I increased in level, this became a minor nuisance that I quickly forgot about, especially when being able to switch between multiple party members later in the game. In another inventive twist, the map of Hyrule from Breath of the Wild is here as your level select and world exploration tool in one. Gone are the Super Mario style level selects from the previous Warriors games that pushed you from one stage to the next and forced inorganic menu navigation for everything. This new approach helps you feel more involved in the war as you give items to the different people of Hyrule, complete minor quests, visit shops, and advance the story, all from the same screen. This system alone I think should be in every Warriors game moving forward. Something that feels less inventive are the Divine Beast stages. Combat as the beasts feels slow but powerful, almost as if one was playing as Godzilla. Unfortunately, these areas feel small and a bit cramped for such large machines, lending the stages an almost on-rails feel. Especially since the attacks are primarily ranged offense with a single close-range attack. At the very least, towering over the regular enemies gives a great sense of the enormous size of the Divine Beasts. Gratefully, these stages are more to break up some of the repetition of the regular missions and not to outright replace them. In conclusion, Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity is a unique fusion of Breath of the Wild and the Warriors-style games. Koei Tecmo and Nintendo did a fantastic job melding these two very different styles of games into one. Though the gameplay can be repetitive, the The core world on display here is probably the best to date in any Warriors game. If you love Breath of the Wild, do yourself a favor and try this game. I give it an 8 out of 10. Thank you so much for watching my review of Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. Who am I, you ask? My name is Joseph, host of Nerd Break Podcast, where every week me and my friends take a break from life and nerd out about video games, anime, movies, and more. Why not stop by and check us out? While you're here, please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and drop us an email at nerdbreakpodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear your feedback, and maybe we'll read your listener mail in the podcast. Thanks, and we hope to see you there.